Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. All right, today we're going to talk about how to tell if you're dating a narcissist in the early stages. How can you tell in the early stages that he's a narcissist? Now, to get started, I did pull a short video. Let's watch this video, and then we're going to dive right into this issue. How to tell in the early stages if he's a narcissist. Here we go.
Ever tried to hold a narcissist accountable? Yeah, it's like trying to staple water to a wall. These 8 questions are their kryptonite. They can't answer them, not truthfully. Ask these questions and you'll see exactly who you're dealing with. Question number 1. What did you learn from hurting me? 2. Can you admit you were wrong without blaming someone else? 3. How do you think your actions affected others? 4. What scares you about being truly vulnerable? 5. Have you ever changed a toxic behavior because someone you loved asked you to? 6. Why do you feel the need to control the narrative? 7. Can you love someone without needing to dominate them? 8. When was the last time you apologized without making excuses?
All right. Now I have 10 of the most revealing questions to ask. All right. Now, this is, in your early stages. You haven't slept with him or anything, Even on the first date, you can start asking these questions. And I advise that, or you could be just talking to him over the phone. They don't have to be in person. Okay. I would advise you kind of asking them in a lighthearted way, but your intent is to see how he handles these questions. And I guess, now that I think about it, I think it would be better if you were in person. But if not, ask him over the phone. Watch out if he says, oh, you know what? Let me get back to you later. Because what that means is he got to go research an answer to give you that's going to be, he's hoping would be satisfactory to you. Okay? Okay. Question number 1. Ask him, how do you usually handle things when you're wrong? See what he says. Now, the narcissistic answer would be, I'm never wrong. Or he may get defensive. When I was with the narcissist and I would ask him sensitive questions, he'd get defensive. See, that's a telltale sign that you hit a button, you hit a nerve. Or now he'll blame other people. He's never wrong, so other people are wrong. So he may bring up an example to show how somebody else was wrong, and he was. Now, a healthy answer would be, I try to fix it. Well, you'll never hear that from the narcissist. He can try to fix anything. Or another healthy answer is, I apologize for messing up. You won't hear the narcissist say those words. The narcissist won't apologize for anything. Number 2, and this is a good one. How would your exes describe you? Now, the narcissist would say, oh, my exes was crazy. That's what you would hear from the narcissist. When I was with the narcissist, that's what I heard. All of his exes, it was something wrong with them. All of them. But I also realized that some of them still hung around on the fringes, which I realize now he was still seeing them on the fringes. He would also say that they were jealous of him, very possessive, things like that. It's always the other person's fault, never the narcissist. The narcissist will never take responsibility for the failure of past relationships, ever. Okay? As a matter of fact, toward the end, he'll start building a negative case against the partner with his friends so that they will understand why it fell apart, because they have a different view of the partner that he happened to be with at that time because of him, because of the stories that he's taken back to them. Now, a healthy answer to a question like that would be that he would speak about his partners respectfully. He would say things like, well, we couldn't see eye to eye, or, it just didn't work out. She was a very nice person. We just weren't compatible. Something like that. He would keep it light. He wouldn't go in and try to damage her character and tell you all about the little things that happened and how he couldn't stand this and how he couldn't stand that. The narcissist would do that. Okay? But a healthy person would not. Okay. Number 3, you can ask them, what is something that you worked on to improve yourself? The narcissist, who really feels like he's superior already, he'll say, probably nothing, or, I'm perfect already, and he'll laugh it off, but he would not have a good answer for that. Now, a healthy person would talk more about growth than blame, even if he came up with one flaw about himself. All right, like a lot of people's one flaw could be speaking in public. All right, a lot of people have that. Yeah, so he may say something like that, and I've been working on myself to get better at it. Things like that. That's a healthy person. Always looking for growth. Okay, you can ask this potential partner, how do you handle someone telling you no? And this is going to be important, ladies, because if you want sex, your plan is to tell him no. So you want to know, how does he handle that? Now, the narcissist, he doesn't handle no well. What he does, he overlooks your first no's, and he'll keep going and going and going until he can turn it into a yes. He will not give up, because his objective is to get yeses out of you, because he can manipulate you once you're all full of yeses for him. So that's the goal of the narcissist, to turn all of your no's into yeses. Now, a healthy person would respect your boundaries and not pressure you, unlike the narcissist, who will pressure you to turn that no into a yes. The healthy person will respect your boundaries and back off until you're more welcoming to them. Okay? Number 5, ask when somebody upsets you, how do you communicate it? The narcissist is famous for the silent treatment. If he gets, we call it a narcissistic wound. If you do something that offends the narcissist, of course, the narcissist never forgets. He holds a grudge, and he will come back at you when you least expect it. But the narcissist is the one who acts like, well, I never get upset. Or, or I'll just cut people off. If they get me upset, I'll just cut them off. Things like that are just a flippant kind of thing, when the narcissist will never forget that wound and will come back to hurt the person when they least expect it. That's the narcissist. Now, ask your partner, this is number 6, ask him, what does respect mean to you? If his answer is about what you can do for him to gain his respect, that's a warning sign. Now, the narcissist is all about him or her. So that's a warning sign if his answer is all about what you can do to show respect to him, not what he can do to show respect for you. All right, so you watch out for that. Number 7 is ask this narcissist, do you ever apologize first? Now, no, the narcissist will probably make a crazy remark like, yeah, people ought to be apologizing to me. I'm never really wrong. Something like that. That's a narcissist because they're pretty boastful, especially the malignant narcissist. The covert, you'll probably get some mumbling, or you might not even get any clear answers at all because he's all about camouflaging himself to appear like a victim. So he'll fall victim to your questions and you'll probably just give up, and try to sympathize with him and forget all about your questions. I mean, remember, it's an intelligent energy that is controlling the narcissist. So don't think you can outsmart it. What your mission is to do is to spot it so you're not hurt by it. Okay? All right. Ask him, what does he think the biggest flaw in a relationship is? And the narcissist will always put it on the woman. What the woman does, what the woman did, things like that. Because the narcissist will never accept any kind of responsibility for any flaw. Okay? They just don't do that. A healthy partner would give answers, a real flaw, something that shows that they are aware of themselves and how they are in relationships. Number 9, you can ask, how do you act when someone needs attention or comfort? The narcissist would say, well, you know what? I don't like emotional people. He may say things like that. I mean, which he doesn't because he doesn't have any. So he doesn't know how to handle emotions. So the healthy person would say, well, I try to be supportive. I try to show up. I try to be there. But you'll never get that out of the narcissist because they won't do any of that. It's just not in their dialogue, not in their program. And number 10, how do you act when things aren't going your way? All right? The narcissists, they get angry, they hold grudges, and they seek revenge. That's what they do. Now, a healthy person may feel challenged, but they will work out a way to deal with it. A healthy person. Okay? Now, the thing about this, I've given you 10 questions that you can ask early on, but I would advise some of these questions you can see if you're with the person, like if you went out on a date or two. A number of these questions could be answered just by the way that they act, just by their conversation. You can click them off without answering them, because the whole thing about asking questions, you don't want the person to feel like they're being interviewed on the first or second date. I mean, that is a very uncomfortable feeling. And I wouldn't want to start off a relationship feeling like I was being interviewed for it. But you want the person to feel comfortable, but still get your questions answered. So if you're slow to sex, don't have any sex until you have answered all of your questions, especially you want to know if this guy's a narcissist. Now, these questions are tailored for that. But also, you can tell from these questions whether he might be suitable for you or not. Okay? And there are joking ways that you can ask these questions and still get the answer that you seek. So I advise you to use this method early on in your relationship. Okay? Don't run to sex, because once you have sex, these questions are irrelevant. Okay? He's going to tell you what you want to hear. And even with these questions, he could, but it's up to you to read his body language, to look in his eyes, to pay attention to your own intuition as he answers these questions. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, meditation, and movement, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. I wish you all the very best and happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.